What if I told you that the fastest way to make a man obsessed with you is to stop texting him, stop calling him, and simply go quiet? Sounds risky, right? But here's the truth. When done right, silence isn't rejection. It's the spark that pulls him in harder than any words you could say. Think about it. Every time you send that just checking in text, you give him reassurance. You let him know he still has your attention, your energy, your interest. But when that reassurance disappears, when your phone goes silent, his mind starts racing. Where is she? Who has her attention? Did I lose my chance? And that's when the chase begins. Before I share exactly how to use this silence to flip the script in your favor, hit that like button and drop a comment if you've ever been guilty of over-texting. You'll realize today how pulling back is often more powerful than pushing forward. Listen up, ladies. And some of you guys too, because this message isn't only for one side. Let me be straight with you for a moment. We live in a world where everyone is stuck to their phones, right? Every few minutes, you're checking for that text, that call, that little sound that makes your heart beat faster. And when it doesn't come, suddenly you feel heavy, scrolling through old messages thinking, what did I do wrong? But here's the truth. The phone has tricked you into believing that love lives inside notifications. It doesn't. What really makes someone go crazy about you isn't how fast you reply or how many calls you pick up. It's what happens when you stop chasing and start choosing yourself. See, something shifts when you stop waiting by the phone. All of a sudden, your attention goes to you, your peace, your growth, your joy. And that's when people notice. That's when they start asking, hold on, what's going on with her? Why hasn't she called me? What's different? But I'm not telling you to play silly games, not at all. What I'm saying is, when you recognize your own value, when you're not always available, when you know you're the prize, everything changes. You stop begging for attention and start drawing it in naturally. And let me tell you, that confidence, that glow, it's magnetic. Pay close attention now, because what you're about to hear can change the way you handle love, respect, and attention. And the best part? They won't even see it coming. Value yourself first. Let's be honest, if you don't see your own worth, no one else will. That's just the way life works. People treat you according to the example you set by how you treat yourself. If you keep accepting the least, you'll keep getting the least. And here's the hard part. Sometimes we allow it. We convince ourselves that maybe this is all we deserve. That if we just hold on a little longer, maybe they'll start treating us better. But no, the moment you truly start valuing yourself, everything around you starts to shift. And I'm not talking about walking into the room acting like you're above everyone else. No, it's about that quiet confidence that people feel even before you open your mouth. It shows in the way you move, the way you set limits, and the way you stop chasing what doesn't chase you back. That kind of self-belief is magnetic. People notice it even when you say nothing. Here's the reality. When you're always glued to your phone, waiting for that message, you're giving away control of your happiness to someone else. You're making their attention your air to breathe. But the moment you decide your happiness is in your own hands, everything changes. You begin to glow in a whole new way. You start doing things that actually bring you joy, following your passions, building real friendships, taking care of your health, and focusing on your career. That glow, that energy, makes people stop and wonder what's different. Think about people you know who seem attractive without even trying. Most of the time, it's because they're focused on their own path. They're busy creating their life, and they don't have time to wait by the phone. That energy is powerful. When you're sure of yourself, when you know your worth, you don't have to chase attention, you attract it naturally. Now, valuing yourself doesn't mean suddenly ignoring people or playing hard to get. It simply means you understand your time and energy are valuable. When others see you respect yourself, they either step up to meet you or they fall away. And if they fall away, that's just life making space for someone better to come in. Imagine this. You're at work fully focused, doing your thing. Your phone buzzes, but you don't even move. You don't rush to answer because you've got priorities. That subtle shift, that confidence says everything. It says, I've got my own life. If you want my time, you have to earn it. And trust me, that kind of energy drives people wild, because they can feel you're not desperate for their attention. When you value yourself, you also begin setting real boundaries. You stop allowing half efforts, inconsistent behavior, and empty promises. You stop being available for people who only come around when it suits them. And once you do that, you start attracting connections, romantic and otherwise, that actually respect you. Here's what no one usually tells you. When you know your worth, you stop settling everywhere. It's not just about who you date, it's about how you live in every area of your life. You start expecting more from your friendships, your work, your goals, and even from yourself. And that's when life begins to really move in your favor. So valuing yourself isn't about playing games. It's about upgrading mentally, emotionally, and spiritually until you're so firm in who you are that nothing and no one can shake you. When you reach that point, you won't ever have to chase love or attention again. It will find you, because confidence like that can't be ignored. Silence is power. Silence is one of the most powerful things you can use, and most people don't even see it. We live in a world where everyone feels they must answer right away, explain themselves, keep the conversation alive at all times. You think if you don't reply instantly, the other person might forget you. But here's the truth. Silence often speaks louder than words. When you stop over-explaining, oversharing, and always updating, you create a sense of mystery. And mystery is magnetic. People crave what they don't fully understand. When you're always available, always texting first, always replying instantly, you leave nothing to wonder about. They know exactly where you are, what you're doing, and how fast you'll respond. There's no space for curiosity, and curiosity is what keeps people hooked. But when you step back, when you don't send that good morning text, when you let a call go to voicemail because you're busy, suddenly everything feels different. Now they're thinking, wait, what's going on? Why isn't she calling like she usually does? That silence starts echoing in their mind. And that echo is what makes them restless. But understand this clearly. Silence isn't about playing tricks. It's not about ghosting or ignoring someone to hurt them. It's about respecting your space and creating balance. It's about realizing you don't need constant validation from someone else to feel worthy. When you step back, you're sending a message without saying a word. I have my own life. I'm not just waiting here for you. That energy is strong because it shows confidence without you even saying it. Think about when someone doesn't give you constant updates. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? You start filling in the blanks, imagining where they are, what they're doing, and who they're with. That same effect works in relationships. When you create space, you give the other person a chance to step forward. You let them chase you instead of you doing all the chasing. Silence also brings clarity. When you stop talking for a bit and just watch, you see people for who they truly are. You notice how much they actually try when you're not carrying the whole conversation. Do they reach out to you? Do they put in real effort? Or do they disappear until you call first? That quiet space reveals the truth faster than any talk ever could. And here's the thing, silence also protects your peace. Not everything deserves a reply. Not every message is worth your energy. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to stay quiet and let your actions speak. People can argue with your words all day long, but they cannot argue with the absence of your attention. When you stop feeding every situation with instant replies, you take your power back. This doesn't mean you cut people off or act like you're too busy for connection. It simply means you become more intentional with your presence. When you do choose to speak, to reply, to join in, it carries weight because it's not constant, it's deliberate. That's what makes someone value your time and your words, because you don't give them away freely to anyone who asks. Silence is powerful because it creates balance. It stops you from over-investing and gives the other person space to show you where they stand. And here's the amazing part. When you master quiet confidence, you'll notice people around you leaning in. They'll call more, text more, and put in more effort, not because you begged, but because your silence made them realize they could lose something precious. Now, build your own life. Here's a truth many people don't want to hear. The fastest way to make someone want you, respect you, and value your presence is to create a life so full, so exciting, and so meaningful that you're not waiting for anyone to complete it. Too many people put their lives on hold, sitting by the phone, waiting for a call, a text, or an invite. That's not living. It's barely surviving. The moment you stop circling around someone else and start building your own world, everything shifts. When you build your own life, you're not just keeping yourself busy, you're creating a version of you that's confident, independent, and strong. You begin exploring your passions, picking up hobbies, working on your health, investing in your career, spending time with friends, traveling, and enjoying your own company. That kind of self-investment creates a glow that no one can ignore. People are drawn to those who have their own passions and goals because it shows you can create joy for yourself. And here's the magic. When you're focused on your own life, you naturally become less available, not because you're pretending to be hard to get, but because you're honestly busy building something real. Suddenly, you're not always the first one to answer the phone. You're not waiting around for plans because you already have your own. And that change makes people curious. They start wondering what you're doing, where you're going, and why they're not your top priority anymore. Picture this. Instead of sitting at home scrolling endlessly through social media, you're out taking a cooking class, hitting the gym, meeting new people, or finally starting that side hustle you've been dreaming of. You're showing up for yourself in ways that make you proud. That energy, that sense of purpose is magnetic. People feel it and want to be part of it because your life feels alive. The truth is, nobody wants to be with someone who has nothing going on. It's not attractive to be available every second or to make another person your only source of happiness. What's attractive is independence. What's attractive is someone with their own dreams, their own plans, and their own circle of people. When you build your own life, you create a balance that stops you from losing yourself in someone else's attention. And it doesn't end with dating, it shows up in every area of your life. Building your life also means setting standards and knowing your worth everywhere, not just in relationships. You stop taking jobs that don't excite you. You stop surrounding yourself with people who drain your energy. You become thoughtful about where your time goes and who gets access to it. And when you do that, you naturally attract better people, better opportunities, and better situations that match the stronger version of you. And here's the best part. When you're focused on becoming your best self, you stop settling. You stop chasing people who don't see your value because you're too busy enjoying your own company. That confidence and self-belief speak louder than any text or call ever could. Instead of sitting there wondering why someone isn't choosing you, you realize you don't have time to wait for them. You're already moving forward. Building your own life means creating a reality that excites you. It means waking up every morning with purpose and pride, knowing you're not just existing, you're thriving. And from that place, the right people won't just notice you, they'll respect you, they'll value you, and they'll work to be part of what you've created. Now let's talk about setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is one of the strongest acts of self-respect you can practice. Too many people mistake boundaries for being rude, distant, or hard to deal with. But that's not what it is. Boundaries are simply teaching people how to treat you. They're proof of how much you value yourself and how much you're willing to protect your peace, your time, and your energy. When you don't set limits, you invite chaos into your life, chaos in your relationships, your friendships, even your work. Think about it. When someone knows they can call you at 2 in the morning and you'll always answer, they stop appreciating that access. When they know you'll cancel your plans every time they need something, they stop respecting your time. And it's not always because they're bad people. It's because you've taught them your life revolves around them. Boundaries change that. Boundaries say, I care about you, but I care about me too. If you want to be in my space, you have to show up in a healthy, consistent, and respectful way. When you start setting boundaries, people will test you. Some will even call you cold or selfish because they're not used to you protecting yourself. But here's the truth. The right people will honor your limits and the wrong ones will fade away, and that's exactly what you want. Boundaries don't push away the right people, they push away the wrong ones. They create space for relationships that are equal and healthy instead of one-sided and draining. Boundaries also teach you discipline. Saying no isn't easy, especially when you care. But every time you say no to something that drains you, you're saying yes to your own well-being. Boundaries stop you from overextending yourself and ending up tired and resentful. They let you give from a place of strength instead of emptiness. Picture this. Someone sends you that late-night text and, instead of rushing to answer, you let it sit. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't need to defend it. You simply don't reply, because that time belongs to you for resting, recharging, or focusing on what truly matters to you, that isn't playing games or acting hard to get. That's knowing your own value. And when you move with that kind of confidence, people adjust. They start calling sooner, planning ahead, and treating you with the same respect you've already shown yourself. Having boundaries also makes your presence worth more. When you're not always free, when you don't drop everything the second someone clicks their fingers, people realize that your time is something special, not something promised. That small shift changes how all of your relationships work. It puts you in charge of your energy instead of allowing others to drain it. And here's the amazing part about boundaries. They give you freedom. Freedom from toxic attachments. Freedom from feeling like you must please everyone. And freedom from situations that don't benefit you. Once you start setting and sticking to them, you'll feel lighter, calmer, and more at peace. Drama quickly fades when people finally see they can no longer cross lines that should never have been crossed. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors. They don't shut everyone out. They let the right people in while keeping the wrong ones away. And when those doors are strong, when you know exactly what you'll accept and what you won't, you stop living at the mercy of other people's behavior. You start living on your terms. That's when you truly take your power back. Mastering the glow up is part of this journey. A real glow up isn't just about looking good, it's about becoming the best version of yourself in every part of life. When most people hear glow up, they think about new hair, losing weight, or buying trendy clothes. And while there's nothing wrong with those things, in fact, do it and treat yourself, a glow up goes deeper. It's about leveling up mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically until you walk into any room already knowing you're the prize without having to prove it. The first part of a true glow up starts inside. It begins with how you see yourself. If you don't believe you deserve better, nothing you do on the outside will stick. Confidence isn't built overnight. It grows from daily choices to love and invest in yourself. That means being grateful for where you are while still working for more. It means replacing negative self-talk with kind words and learning to quiet that little voice that says, "You're not enough." When your mindset shifts, your whole world shifts too. Next comes your emotional glow up. Growing emotionally means handling challenges without losing control, creating healthy boundaries without guilt, and understanding your triggers so you can respond to life instead of reacting to it. It's realizing your peace is priceless and protecting it like your most valuable treasure. Because it is. People notice this change. They see how grounded you are, how you refuse to feed negativity or drama, and that calm energy begins attracting better people and better opportunities into your life. The spiritual glow up is just as powerful. Whatever your beliefs, taking time to connect with something bigger than yourself keeps you grounded. It could be prayer, meditation, journaling, or simply sitting quietly and reflecting. This connection gives you purpose and clarity. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you move differently. You no longer crave constant approval, because you're already solid inside. And yes, the physical glow up matters too, not for others, but for you. When you look after your body, it shows. It's not about chasing a number on the scale. It's about feeling strong, healthy, and confident in your own skin. Maybe that means joining the gym, going on daily walks, dancing around your living room, or eating food that fuels you instead of draining you. Whatever you choose, make it a lifestyle, not a temporary fix. When you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, confidence naturally shines from within. A true glow-up also involves lifting your environment, the spaces you live in, the people you spend time with, and the content you take in all shape your energy. Start curating your circle. Surround yourself with people who uplift, inspire, and challenge you to grow instead of holding you back. Clean your space, your room, your desk, and even your social media feeds. A cluttered space often creates a cluttered mind, and you deserve clarity and peace. The beauty of a glow-up is that it doesn't happen all at once, and that's okay. It's a journey. Some days you'll feel like you're moving forward, other days may feel like setbacks, but every single step toward becoming your best self counts. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to post every small win. Just keep building, keep growing, and let your actions speak louder than words. What makes this so powerful is the energy shift that comes with it. When you've been putting time into yourself, people can sense it. They see you carry yourself with confidence, smiling more, radiating strength without arrogance. And here's what makes people even more drawn to you. You're not chasing anyone anymore. You're not begging for attention because you're too busy loving the life you've created. That glow, the one rooted in joy, peace, and self-respect, is magnetic. So master your glow up. Build the version of yourself you've always dreamed of. Keep showing up for yourself. Stay consistent. Stop looking for shortcuts. Because when you put in the real work, the deep inside-out work, you don't just glow, you shine so brightly that the right people can't miss you and the wrong people won't be able to reach you. Now let's talk about letting him come to you. This is where so many people get it wrong. They think the best way to get attention is by chasing, always being the one calling, texting, checking in, making sure the other person knows you're around. But here's the truth. That strategy almost always fails. The moment you start chasing, you give away all your power. The real magic begins when you learn to lean back, focus on yourself, and allow him to move toward you. Men are natural pursuers. It's how they're wired. When a man genuinely wants you, he will show it. He'll call, he'll text, he'll plan, and he'll put in effort, because he sees your value and doesn't want to risk losing you. But when you're always stepping in, always texting first, always rearranging your life to fit his, you take away his chance to rise up and show you how much you mean. Letting him come to you doesn't mean you stay quiet forever or play some cold, distant game. It simply means you create space. Space for him to step forward, to put in effort, and to show that his interest in you is real and not just out of habit or convenience. When you stop chasing, you create clarity. Either he will rise up and match your energy, or you'll quickly see that he was never serious from the start. And knowing that earlier rather than later will save you time, energy, and unnecessary pain. The beauty of leaning back is that it keeps you in control without you needing to force anything. You're not begging for attention, not stressing over every move. You're just living your life. And that energy is powerful. When you're busy building your own world, doing your own thing, and genuinely enjoying yourself, people notice. He notices. Suddenly, he's the one wondering why you're not calling, why you're not texting, why you're not chasing like others do. That shift makes him move towards you because you've shown him without saying a word that you know your worth. Think of it like this. Scarcity creates value. When something is too easy to get, people don't treasure it the same way as something they had to work for. By letting him come to you, you're not holding back as a trick. You're simply showing that your time and energy are precious. You're not available for everyone, and you're definitely not available for someone unwilling to put in real effort. That kind of confidence pulls the right people closer and naturally pushes away the ones who don't belong. Letting him approach you also gives you the space to observe. When you're not carrying the connection on your shoulders, you can clearly see his intentions. Does he reach out regularly? Does he make plans and follow through? Does he do what he says he will? His actions, or the lack of them, will tell you everything you need to know.